4-day New Year's clock with gears underneath acrylic nail art tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish.
Hi everybody, in today's video I have the New Year's design for 2020 Melody, just like your eyesight, I think, I don't really know. Anyways, I have a really cool 4D times 2 nail art design. So the first element that's 4D is that the hour hand of the clock spins around and around and around. And then the second element is that you can take the whole clock face off the nail and you have all kinds of gears underneath that. And on the back side of the clock face it says 2020. And if this is in the future, you could switch it to 2021, 22, whatever. So I hope you guys like it as much as I do, and don't forget to click subscribe to see all my future videos as well.
Begin by applying an overlay of clear acrylic. I did all of the coloration in the background with gel polish instead of doing a acrylic overlay with a color acrylic. So that's, it's up to you however you want to do it. And even if, no matter what, if I'm doing a black background, I always do it this way because a full overlay of black acrylic just seems to clog up my brush and make kind of a mess I have to deal with cleaning up. So for me, it's just easier, especially with that color background, to just do clear and paint it on top later anyways. So after I have that full overlay of clear acrylic in place and it looks smooth and it's got a beautiful apex and all of that great stuff, I'm going to take and file the nail into shape with my e-file, starting out with a coarse bit to remove any bulk and then switching to a finer bit just to smooth out the surface texture. With a nail of this length, you may find it easier to clean some stuff up with a hand file as well. That's personal preference, but on a nail this length, it kind of goes iffy whether an e-file can really do it all. So then I'm going to be applying 2 coats of the color King's Choice from Madam Glam, which is a gorgeous black that has a fairly subtle but gorgeous little bit of glitter in it. So 2 coats of that. After each coat, cure it, and then with the color Stardust, I'm going to put some of that just on a palette of any variety. And that is a very chunky gold glitter mix. I'm going to kind of outline the area where I want my clock to sit on the nail. So you don't want to make like a small circle, you want to make it really big and kind of oversized. So just add that color going around and then fade that towards the cuticle area and towards the tip. So just kind of brush it up and brush it down. Just like that. This Stardust color creates such effortless glitter gradients that if you guys are a glitter gradient fan like I am, this is definitely a great one to have in your collection because it really is so easy to do. Then apply a layer of gel top coat over the whole nail and then throw that into your lamp to cure. And then on a nail form backing, we're going to just set down a magnet, and then with some black acrylic, the stuff I just said I didn't like a few minutes ago, but with black acrylic, we're going to be sculpting the face of the clock. So it's basically just a large circle. And as long as your magnet is in there somewhere, you're good. Somewhat towards the middle is probably a good idea, but if it's exactly in the middle, it's going to mess up where the hole is for the hand of your clock. So it has to be off center slightly, somewhat. But it doesn't particularly make much difference where it sits in there. So just flatten out that circle, add a second layer of acrylic so it adds a little bit more thickness to it if you need to. That's kind of one of those, depends on your acrylic and how it's working, if it needs to be thicker or not. But once you have a good layer on that, just kind of make it as perfectly circular as you can, and then take a toothpick or something stabby like that and create a little hole in the center. Then I'm going to be taking another magnet over the back of the one that's already there, and then put a little bit of nail glue on it, and then hold your little clock so that it's sitting over the spot on the nail. So that will transfer the second magnet to the nail. And then with nail glue and some little clock pieces, some gears and different things, you can get these little sets of watch gears on different, like Big Bang Theory, or not Big Bang Theory, no, Beauty Big Bang and Born Pretty store. They have clock pieces. And so just take a bunch of those, and now I'm using some jewelry gel. And I've mentioned jewelry gel a couple times in recent videos, and if you guys are curious what that is, it is very, very thick gel that has the sole purpose of holding on things like these little studs and things and rhinestones. So it's meant for nails, and you just apply it, and it's very thick. It's not quite like a 3D gel, but it's definitely thicker than a builder gel. And it works beautifully for attaching and adhering rhinestones. As soon as you place something down, it doesn't move. It just sticks in there. So that's a fantastic little item to have in your kit if you don't already. And I actually just learned about this stuff, and as soon as I found it, I'm like, this is amazing. Why haven't I been using this my whole life? So I was very excited to pick that up. So then cure those so that they're all set in place, and then going back to the details on the face of your clock, I'm going to start by doing an outline of gold paint right around the very edge of it, and I'm trying to make this little outline as skinny as I possibly can. It's just a very thin little line going around. Obviously you don't want it so thin that you don't see it, but a nice little gold border around the clock that'll really make it stand out. And then I'm going to be adding a second circle within that first one, so leave enough space to write your numbers for your times, and then just add that second circle in the middle. And if any of these lines get thicker than you want them to be, or they just go haywire, because the background is just black, you can take some black paint and clean up the lines, which is a great little thing to do, especially if you're making this clock and your lines aren't quite perfect like they should be. Being able to clean that up gives you a little peace of mind that makes a design like this slightly less stressful. Then I'm going to be using Roman numerals to create the numbers on my clock. So for my 12 at the top, I did XII, and then I did the 6 at the bottom with a VI, and then for 3 it's III, and then do your 9 with an IX, apply some matte top coat over the whole thing, and then string it's called a head pin, so it's got a little flat spot on the end of it through the middle, and then bend it. So just string it through to make sure it fits through the hole and to kind of figure out where to go, and then bend it at a 90-degree angle. Make a mark on it to the edge of where the clock is and cut it off. Then on a nail form backing with black gel paint, I'm going to be creating the hand of my clock. And again, just to be as specific as I can for anybody that's curious about the products I'm using, the black gel paint I'm using cures without a tacky layer, so it's just smooth after it's cured, and it stays kind of flexible. That part of it's not that important for this design, but once you have your little hand drawn, then you're going to cure it and then burnish some of the gold chrome powder over the top of it. Then glue that to the top of your wire, and this part I actually missed the footage of, I apologize, but glue that little piece, peel it off the nail form backing, and then glue it onto your wire on the clock face. Then on the back of your clock face, write 2020, or if you guys are watching this in the future, you can write whatever year it is. I know I have one design a few years ago where instead of, I think it was for 2018, instead of writing 2018, I wrote 2081. So, or 2801, or I don't know, it was something 2108. I don't know, it was wrong anyways. And so yeah, that one is not valid for a while, but after you have that done, just go ahead and apply some top coat over the back of your clock face, and then that is it. This design is so unbelievably cool. I absolutely love it. It's steampunk and elegant and 4D, yet wearable all at the same time. So I hope you guys love it as much as I do, and Happy New Year, everybody!